You are listening to a One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast that tells the stories of craft beer in Minnesota and beyond. So kick back, relax, and grab a cold one. The show starts now. Hello, my name is Dan Bobian, and I write, produce, and host a One Pint Stand. I'm ecstatic that you're listening. This episode of a One Pint Stand is proudly sponsored by Wandering Leaf Brewing Company. Wandering Leaf is a fantastic, family-friendly brewery that combines lush greenery with dynamic craft beers. Their spacious taproom is located just south of Highland Park on West 7th Street in St. Paul. Make sure you check them out. On this episode of a One Pint Stand, I head down to Padraigs Brewing in Northeast Minneapolis to chat with owner Pat Carey and head brewer Dan Pund. They were kind enough to join me and tell me the story of how Padraigs came to be. If, like me, you thought a brewery focusing on Irish and UK-inspired beers was far too niche to be profitable, you are going to really enjoy this interview. So let's head out to the Padraigs Brewing taproom for my interview with Dan and Pat. Cheers. Welcome to another on-location episode of a One Pint Stand. I'm your host, Dan Bobian. Today, I am at Padraigs Brewing in Northeast Minneapolis, and I'm sitting down with head brewer Dan and owner Pat. Thank you so much for having me in today.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
I mean, for an Irish brewery, you could not have dialed up better weather for today. It's literally raining cats and dogs, and with construction, I'll tell you what, this red ale is right on time. So
it's a good day for Irish beer, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, that is very smooth. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This we're drinking the chimney,
the red chimney,
yep. Which you recently won an award for at the Minnesota Brewers Cup.
Yeah, it's the third best red ale in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's delicious.
I think it's the number one, but
I agree.
Yeah, it's okay to be biased about your own product. So before we get into kind of my hard-hitting Barbara Walters style questions, I figure we'd start off with some softballs. So before we get into it, why don't you say your name, your role here at the brewery? I want to know what beer or other beverage is always in your fridge or cabinet that you always have on hand at home. And I'd like to know what is outside of Padraigs. What's your favorite local Minnesota craft brewery to go to? So Dan, why don't you start us off?
Well, I'm Dan Pund. I'm the head brewer here. I cultivate and create all the recipes here for Padraigs. And in my fridge, I always have some Coors Banquet in the bottles, the Yellow Jackets, little Colorado Kool-Aid.
I've never heard that before.
It's the best. That or a nice cold bottle of High Life. I think High Life in a bottle is magic. And, a little Midwest, I like that Midwest flavor.
Okay.
And then in regards to, breweries that I like to go to, that's Waldman. I was actually just at Matt Anhalt's wedding.
Cool.
On Saturday.
Okay.
And we crushed some Pilsners.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, yeah. And he made a new beer called Schlabby's 86. It's like a recipe they found, like one of the oldest recipes in Minnesota for beer that he created, and it was only 3.5%. It's incredible.
Oh, that's perfect.
Delicious. Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
So Waldman always, because Matt kind of was my mentor and taught me how to make beer.
Okay.
In the industry. Yeah, and then I go all over town. Wherever there's a good lager, I'll find it. I'll sniff it out for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about you, Pat?
So Pat Carey, I'm the co-founder, kind of the lead founder here in terms of retired quote unquote from my job to kind of start this. In my fridge, Hamm's, Coors Light. It's funny we say Coors. It's so funny. I've been
Colorado Kool-Aid.
Been a Coors Light fan since about age 12. And my two favorite breweries have been for a long time, Arbeiter, Buda Pills.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Yep. I live down the street from Buda Pills, so it's I always tell people I live down the river.
Sure.
The river goes by my garage. I could literally float home. I haven't had to, but
There's a first time for everything.
I can walk home down the bike trail. So
Okay.
two of my favorite. I mean, plenty of favorites here. Don't get me wrong, but
Sure.
two of my favorite. Neither have ever let me down, no matter what I pick. So.
Right. Ham sandwiches and Colorado Kool-Aid.
Yum. Yum. Okay, well, I'm really happy to be here. I'm glad we're sitting down to chat because this location has been part of the craft beer scene for a long while. However, it has been Padraigs for just about 4 months short of 2 years, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What was it about the craft beer scene or the thought of owning a brewery that kind of inspired you to open up a brewery in this location?
Interesting. So the three of us who are partners, two of us work here. We're beer guys. Love to go to breweries. Go to 2 or 3 a week forever, and would go and have an amazing experience at some breweries. And I didn't grow up here. I grew up in Southern California.
Okay.
Imagine between LA and San Diego, growing up in that area. Beer crazy.
Why would you ever leave that area?
Job.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Yeah, and can't afford to go back. Once you're out, you can't go back,
Yeah.
right? You can't afford it. So beer nut, travel all over the world. Worked for a German company for a long time, so spent a lot of time in Germany. So every time was traveling, I'd go, what am I going to do? I'll sit in my hotel room. I'm going to go find a local brewery. And had some amazing experiences and had some terrible experiences, right? So the three of us really said, what could we create an amazing experience in terms of the beer and as well as the experience, the environment, what goes on, the events. And I was getting close to retirement and said, guys, we're literally sitting in breweries like, what should I do? What should I do with my life?
Sure.
Right? And we're looking around like, well, this is something we think we know well. Let's put our money where our mouth is, right? So we started to look at breweries in the area in 2019.
Okay.
And this COVID thing happened, right? So we were like, let's
Yeah.
So let time go on. That whole terrible experience we all lived through, and then in late 22 called the business brokers back and said, okay, let's talk again.
Sure.
So we started to negotiate, look at a number of them. This is the one we like the best because of patio. We know we have an amazing patio, parking lot, and location. Right.
Yeah.
So that's how we got here to this one. Pretty straightforward. It had
Okay.
the features that we were looking for.
Yeah.
We lucked out that Dan was here. To be honest, we lucked out that another.
Very nice.
Yeah. And our theory was Irish, English, UK style beers that, having traveled all over the world, literally can't get here.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So that was the theory. Could we do this? Came here, met Dan, and Dan was like, "Wow, I'm all about that." Right.
Yep.
So that's how this whole thing kind of came together. It was an idea, a plan, a strategy, but then you get meet the right people.
Yeah.
Then you can make it happen.
Right. Well, and I think, a lot of places open and, they don't think long and hard about who's brewing the beer. They just want to open up a brewery. And I think about, 10 years ago, opening up a brewery was a way to make a quick buck for a lot of people. You didn't have that experience of traveling around, understanding what good, consistent beer is and the importance of that to owning a brewery. People were just like, these people are practically, seemingly to the outside, printing money. I'm going to open up a brewery. And they found out, found out the hard way that it's not that simple.
It's burning money, right?
Yeah, it's right, exactly. But the one thing that I always come back to is location. This location, the previous brewery here, I feel they stayed open solely because of the location.
Right. Yep.
And so this is home run on that. The location is great in the heart of the Northeast beer district. And then I'm very excited about when I read that there was going to be a brewery focusing on beers that are very much near and dear to my heart, but very much kind of like not, Irish and UK inspired beers do not have a very prominent representation around the state. You could take that further around the country. I mean, there are a handful of places that I've been where I have even seen one hand pull, one cask beer, much less, there's a couple places like Hogshead out in Denver and Machine House in Seattle where they have 7. That's almost unheard of. So, that style of beer that is low ABV, big flavor, really meant for sitting around and doing what we're doing. Right. I felt like, where are these places? I mean, it is established that these are good beer styles to drink.
Right.
So I was really intrigued by that. The focus on Irish beers, UK inspired beers. I felt it was, on one hand, very bold, and on the other hand, very risky, given the current climate of craft beer, where it seems like most places, at least a quarter of their tap lines are tied up in some form of IPA.
Yes.
So I think that's exciting. So you opened in September of 23, and you'll be celebrating 2 years in the end of August. And so that's really exciting. Now, Dan, I'm curious about your journey into craft beer. Do you want to speak about how you found your way into brewing?
Absolutely. Do you want the whole spiel or do you want the condensed version?
I want the fun version.
All right, the fun version. Well, let's see. Was it 2014? I think I was the assistant manager at Zoomies in Burnsville. And I was taking the bus there, and it was killing me. It was like a 2-hour bus ride to Burnsville.
I can only imagine.
I was living in Diggytown at the time, so it was just brutal. And my girlfriend at the time, now my fiance, she was like, she worked at Harriet.
Oh, sure.
Yep. And she was like, just come work a shift. And like, if you've been to Harriet, it was kind of a circus. No matter what, it was like a crazy carnival every single day. And I just came in, just started bartending. That's all. I just walked in and just started bartending with her. And the owner, like, after a few hours was like, who are you? Jason was like, who are you? And I was like, I'm Dan. I'm helping Bronte today. He's like, okay, cool. And then like, we started talking about music and stuff and drinking. And by the end of the night, he just handed me a W-2. I was like, here you go. I'll see you tomorrow.
That's awesome.
And he hired me. So I started bartending there. And then that's when I met Matt and Jules, who were both brewing there at the time.
Okay.
Jules is now at 56. Matt's over at Waldman. And all they did was argue about Star Wars and music and smoke weed. And I was like, these guys are the coolest guys ever. How do I do this for a living? And they're making some of the best beers I've ever had. Predominantly, Harry was making Belgian styles at the time.
Yep, I remember.
And like I love craft beer initially, like New Belgium, the Fat Tire, so good. That was like one of my favorite beers. Sierra Nevada, obviously, and Surly Furious and that kind of stuff was like, that's my go-to when I was at home. And, seeing like a new version, I never really had Belgian style beers before that, and like all those beers were so good. I was smitten.
Yeah.
Bronte and I got jobs up in Alaska working on the railroad.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we worked for it's called the Wilderness Express. It's like a caboose that goes from Anchorage all the way to Fairbanks. We do 3 stops along the way to Talkeetna, Denali, and then Fairbanks. So, basically breakfast, lunch, dinner. I was a cook. She was a server. And we fell in love with Alaska during that summer, and we decided to stay, which we still haven't decided was the best idea or not, because, oh my God, Alaska winters are brutal, dude. It's dark.
Which is crazy because, I've lived in
months.
Minnesota my whole life. I can't imagine.
Just add 2 more to 3 more months of darkness.
I suppose that would really...
Like, it wasn't the cold, because actually in Anchorage, you're by the Pacific Ocean, so it doesn't really get below the 20s, really. Unlike the winters here, which go -20. It's just that darkness all the time.
Yeah.
And I got a job. I loved the brewing industry, so when I was there, I was just hunting for a brewing job. I wanted to be a bartender again. I wanted to be a part of the taproom experience, part of the brewing experience, and that's when I got hired at King Street Brewing in Alaska, or
Okay.
Anchorage, and fell in love with the team there. They're the best dudes ever. Max Crutch is the head brewer, and he's Australian and American. So his mom's American, his dad's Australian.
Okay.
And he's sailed the world a few times. He's just a really knowledgeable guy, goes moose hunting. He's just a psycho, and he's so fun. And I'd be bartending. He goes, Dan, I need help dry hopping. And then I'd be like, I've never done that. And he goes, get up there. I had to climb these giant, they had 60 barrel fermenters, and I had to climb a ladder
man.
with like 44-pound bags of hops. And he's coaching me through the whole process. And that's when I was like, this is it. This is my foot in the door, essentially.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just kept helping there. We ended up helping them can every other day, and again, just kept falling in love with beer and the industry itself. Just the crazy, weird pirates that you run into in this industry.
There are a lot of personalities.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
And I think that that's what keeps me wanting to come in and interview people is like, there's no two places the same.
Right.
I remember there used to be another podcaster who, we were talking about, what inspired you and what do you like about it? And he was like, I don't know, man, it's kind of getting old. It's like everybody started as a home brewer and they do this, and it's kind of like everybody's got the same story. I'm like, then you're not listening.
Right.
You're not paying attention.
Yeah.
Because I've never thought that any two are like the exact same.
Yeah.
Everybody has their own kind of like origin story.
Yeah.
And that's what I love hearing about it, because I think you have to be, certainly a brewer needs to be organized and have a little bit of like type A personality in them, but also to like really think about and, want to learn all sorts of different things, brewing techniques, historical styles. You mentioned Waldman, like they are always putting out stuff. I was like, I've never heard that word ever. And there's a beer, you need to be eclectic to really, I think, thrive in this business. Because nothing is the same. No two breweries are the same.
Yeah. The only thing that links us all together is we're all nerds in some way.
Yeah.
We nerd out about like one facet of one thing, whether it's like hitting your pHs perfect or hitting your mash temps perfect or hitting a certain style like exactly the same. We're all nerds in some way, but we're all very different in every other aspect. But vagabonds, pirates, and nerds.
That's a great.
Yeah. That
would have been a great title for this podcast. Why did I decide a one pint stand to do it? Vagabonds, nerds, and pirates. That's way better. That's really good. Yeah. That's interesting. So
after Alaska, like we came back here because winter was just too much. We drove back actually in a 91 Chevy Blazer. We drove 5,000 miles.
Wow.
You could only get a top speed of 55, and we were going uphill. It was like 30. We were getting passed by semi trucks. It was the scariest. It was so scary. But yeah, we came back here. Let's see. I think Bronte, my fiance, got a job at a brewing in the brewing industry first. She went back to Insight. Matt got her a job as a bartender at Insight.
Okay.
Matt and Jules were at Insight by the time that we got back because Harriet had closed.
Okay.
We were only there for about 1.5 to 2-ish years, but in that time, Harriet had closed its doors. And Bronte got her industry job first, and I went to Ice House, and I was a bar back, and that was a wild experience in its own right. But I told everyone there, I was like, I'm going to be a brewer. This is my goal. I hadn't been brewing yet, but that was my one goal.
Yeah.
And I got hired at Eastlake eventually. And I told them in my interview, like, I'm going to brew for you. Like, sure you are. And then sure enough, one of their brewers moved down to Austin, and they're like, Dan, it's your time. So I started cleaning kegs and cellaring and everything. And then Eric Nelson, the head brewer there, was like, all right, you're gonna help me brew today. And that's what I started brewing. That's where I started going from. Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
And then from there, I went to Insight and Surly, and then I was 612's last head brewer for 11 months ish until Pat bought it.
okay. And here we are.
And now here we are. It's been 2 years.
Here we are.
Yep.
If you were gonna try to tell somebody who'd never been to Padraigs before, you know, the elevator pitch or like the Cliff Notes reason of why they should come in or what they might expect, what would that be? Like what if somebody's listening right now and has never been here, why should they come in? What will they find?
When I go out, I'm looking for an experience. That's what I'm looking for.
Sure.
To be entertained, maybe, to have something different, to be educated. And that's what we're trying to provide here is, first of all, everybody works here is passionate about beer. I was in too many breweries that the brewer, some hungover kid, shoves a beer at me that he didn't even pour right. Here you go, right? Like, we're passionate about beer. Everybody works here knows about beer, knows all the craziness that Dan's put into the beer, knows the details, right? People, and I, for example, I hang out here on the weekends and talk to people like, oh, you know a lot about beer. I'm not a brewer, but I'm obsessed with beer, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, people come in, and then we're in a great location, right? The location's a big deal.
Yeah.
And then we provide a lot of entertainment. So we do a lot of music. We do a lot of Irish music. And people always like, how's your bar? You know, but the bar, we're not an Irish bar, meaning we don't have Guinness signs, hot glued to the wall. We're trying to create an authentic experience here around real Irish beer, real Irish experience, real Irish music, and other music, right? We're not trying to become another Irish bar, but really create Irish and UK styles. And I emphasize that because UK, when you think about Irish, you think about drinking.
Yeah.
We have St. Paddy's Day, you just think about it, right? When you think about English, you think about, there's nothing really comes to you about English beer. But London's one of my favorite cities in the world. Having been to the UK a ton in my life, there's amazing beer over there. And you talk about people here, they don't even know what those styles are.
Right, yeah.
Right? Right before we started here, I went and spent a full day at Fuller's, an entire day at Fuller's. 1,700 built the brewery. I end up hooking up with the head of quality, this woman, she works there, and she takes me around. I'm looking at open fermenters from the 1700s. They're still using.
That's crazy to me.
Open fermenters.
Wow.
And there's guys in there scraping the foam off the top.
So
it's just
cool.
I was taking pictures, in their giant copper thing. Just that experience is on the Thames, and there's all these beers they're making there. They're making stuff like craft beers for you can't get here. And that's just so interesting. So UK styles, again, as we talked before, are so underrepresented in this country and so interesting. Malty, low ABV, sessionable, the tastes are like, wow. And for me, it's like, can I bring that to people? Can we have a new experience, that people don't have? So when I go out, that's what I'm looking for. And I think that's what other people are looking for. And every weekend I'm in here and people are like, oh my God, this is great. This is amazing. What are you doing? Never heard of that. Never thought of that. Right. Even classic styles that we think about and talk about. So that's kind of the theory behind what we're doing, kind of what we're trying to create. And people are on board. We've met a lot of the Irish community here.
Sure.
Which, I was a guy who lived on an airplane, right? I was a corporate guy. And we've really been adopted by I put in air quotes here, true Irish. People from Ireland.
Yeah.
There's a very strong community here.
Huge.
And they've adopted us. They're like, we love what you're doing, right? Dan and I, we bonded right away. We have a lot of the similar, very similar interests in what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Like we should get a hurling team, right?
Yep.
So I get on the internet and I start Googling things and sending notes to people. We end up having our own hurling team, right? Which most people don't even know what hurling is. Well, I knew from being in Ireland what hurling was, right? And we find a team. So
now we have the international team too.
Yeah. It's crazy. So what we're doing here. So again, create an authentic, back to the original point, create an authentic experience, and not just the beer, but the experience, and then educate people. And people come in here like, this is amazing what you're doing here. And you're talking to me, and I'm learning about a new instrument. I'm learning about a new sport. I'm learning.
I want to, okay, real quickly for people, I've heard of hurling as a sport. I mean, you want to see the hurling team, just go down frat row of the U of M at about 2:30 in the morning and just look up. But hey, what is the sport hurling for people who don't know?
It's a couple of I would say 2,000 years old, but again, I'm not Googling it. I'm just saying this out loud. It's an ancient Celtic sport that football, rugby, lacrosse, they say comes from, there's a controversy there, but football, rugby, soccer come from this sport.
Okay.
Essentially field hockey.
All right, that's what I thought.
But
okay.
And they have the little sticks, and they run with the sticks. And
the hurleys,
it's a hurley,
the
right?
hurley, the field hockey stick.
Okay.
Right, is just a wider paddle. So they can actually catch the ball on that paddle.
And then when you whack somebody, it doesn't hurt so bad because they hit each other.
Hard.
Hard. And then there's two levels. The craziest thing when you go watch it, there's two levels of scoring. There's like a soccer net, and there's the goalposts over it. And where you hit it, you get different points.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so fun.
It's like MMA rugby. It makes rugby look weak, which is scary.
Which is crazy because
crazy to say.
I mean,
right? Nothing
you
against
talk
rugby.
to a rugby player.
Nothing against it, right?
Yeah.
But think if rugby guys had sticks, how bad it would be.
It's so funny. I've got this kid in my class named Cooper. He's like on the Hopkins Rugby Club. If I told him there was a sport that combined sticks with rugby, I think he'd start foaming at the mouth immediately.
Exactly.
I'm sure they'll take them.
Yeah,
They're always recruiting.
that's really cool.
So that's just one of the many things that we've run into, pull people together, just trying to create a place for a community that doesn't exist. And I look at other breweries; they've all, there's some breweries that have done a great job of creating a community.
Oh, for sure.
Around who they are.
Yeah.
Right. And we came here and we're like, we think we can create a community. One of the terms when I was thinking of this idea, the brand was exploring 5,000 years of Irish brewing. I mean, Irish brewing goes back to the St. Francis Abbey where Smithwick's is today, creating a red beer. I mean, it's that old. And all that, and a lot of the history's been lost because the diaspora, the famine, 1840, a lot of people leaving. So a lot of that culture, it's interesting. A lot of the culture got lost, but that's what preserved a lot of the Irish culture. So when the Irish left, they brought their culture with them. They said, this is all we have. We have to hang on to it. That's what makes such a strong Irish culture in this country. But at the same time, we lost a whole bunch of it. The brewing culture, which is so interesting, right? So the theory is, I've been there. I've been to Ireland. I've been to the UK a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I think we can bring that here and explore it. Now, the other thing, not to take too much of Dan's on here, the other thing that we're obsessed with is the ingredients. So our malt comes from Ireland and the UK.
Yep.
And that's when we initially chatted. I think I was here on Friday, the weekend of St. Paddy's Day, with a friend. We came to watch the Wolves game and have some Irish beers, and that's one of the things that you mentioned was that you're using all UK Irish ingredients.
Yep.
What does that mean? And as things have become harder to get from a cost perspective, like, has that become more difficult or kind of talk me through?
Well, a lot of the malt we get is from Simpson's.
Okay.
And Brian Simpson, I don't know how he finagled it, but they're not being touched by tariffs in any way.
They got exempted.
Yeah.
Hopefully nobody in the administration is listening to this because we'd like to keep it that way.
I think if you own certain golf clubs in certain countries, maybe this could be.
Potentially. Maybe.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's not explore that.
Yeah, and then MCI, so we get the Malting Company of Ireland as well. They're grown in County Cork. It's an exceptionally beautiful malt. They don't only just make the stout malt that everyone buys before St. Paddy's Day to make their dry stouts with.
Sure.
They also have a really beautiful pale malt, and that's what we use for a lot of our pale beers. Now with Paddy's here, I can see you looking at it.
Yeah.
That's raw. We use raw for this one, but that's a little ode to Minnesota and where all the immigrants had to come here.
Yeah.
And so raw, that Midwest flavor, I wanted to maintain that with our light Irish lager. So that's raw.
And we do a craft beers as well. We do craft beers as well. I always say people, we're not just making a red ale. We're making craft beers.
Yeah.
We have hazies, we have IPAs, we have all that as well. But but
It's an English IPA.
yeah,
And then a New England IPA.
There it is.
there you go. Yeah.
That's, I mean, I would assume, and kind of, you know, when I first heard, like, okay, so, you know, trying to understand Irish beers, I thought to myself, well, okay, you've got red ales
and dry Irish stouts.
stouts.
Two.
There's, you know, because I drink the hell out of it, Harp, you know, Irish lager.
Correct.
So that's 3.
Irish porter is different than English porter.
Okay, explain that to me.
It goes back to how so it's a funny story. Research the history of Irish porter. So porter was invented in England. Irish picked it up. Irish had better malt. They ended up doing a better job. And then the English say, well, let's tax the hell out of that, right?
Sure, right.
Because more people were drinking Irish porter in London than English porter. They put a tax on it. So then, and it had to do with how the malt was kilned.
Okay.
So the Irish said, well, let's change it. Let's get around get around the tariff. It's like very common what's happening in our society today.
Yeah.
So they changed the way that they actually use the kilns again. And stout actually came out of all this. So the stouts came out of the
because they were all porters, right? And then stout was a more robust, a thicker thing.
Correct.
So there was like the porter and the stout porter.
So that's how the kilning and how you did all that had to do with. So that's why Irish porter is a little different than English porter, just a little bit different. And then the pale ale,
from the standpoint of being
how it's kilned.
Oh, how it's kilned. It's still like, is one roastier than the other?
Yes.
Which one is roastier?
That I don't know.
Okay.
I'm looking at Dan.
I don't know either.
Consult your AI program.
Yeah, of course, an AI, right? Yeah.
I'm trying to get ChatGPT to sponsor this thing because then I will be able to have my own driver.
We could just sit here and drink. And
I've never been to Ireland, so I've never been able to have an Irish porter per se.
Yeah.
All my porters come from either around here or Fuller's. So those are my.
So the porter that you have here is Padraigs porter.
Yes,
Does it have a?
We call it Northeast Porter.
Northeast porter. Okay.
Because most porters are named after the city they're from. Like Dublin Porter.
Okay.
Dublin Porter is Guinness. London Porter is Fuller's. We looked at there's a naming convention.
Oh,
and
okay.
we want to call ours Minneapolis Porter. We call it Northeast Porter, which is cool, right?
And you have that's always on tap at Merlin's Rest.
Yep.
Yes.
One of my
Arm.
favorite places.
Yeah, Egan
I love
Arms.
Merlin's.
And then a number of the Northeast dive bars, quote unquote, which isn't negative, carried it during the winter. Right, it's not really a summer beer.
Okay.
So and we do can it, and it does actually it sells surprisingly well in cans. It's people like porter because it's not a peanut butter porter, ice cream porter, all that.
porter.
Yeah.
Baltic porter stuff. It's an Irish porter, and people drink it like, wow, this is an amazing beer. So because it's so light.
What are the stats on that one? It's
5.36 IBUs. I think are around 36 IBUs. You want to have a lot of bitterness with those to cut through all that malty, caramely, chocolatey coffee.
Yeah, and that first one that came to me, was that exclusively for Merlin's and the Egan Arms, if I'm remembering correctly?
It was in the plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had it on our plan. It was further out, and then Fuller's. They had a problem getting Fuller's, and they're using it for their.
That's
food.
right. I remember that.
So we again, I was a huge Merlin's customer, and then we're like, so we end up talking to them,
Okay.
and like, we'll make it for you guys. Yeah, let's have a customer. So that's another thing that we've done is we made that for them, not exclusively. We sell it to everybody.
Sure.
And then we had our friends at Prodigal come to us.
Yep.
And said, hey, we're really looking for, we know Jeff and Randy really well. So the weird story is, this is weirder. So Jason, the other owner, and I, we used to go to Harriet. We didn't know Dan. When I showed Dan pictures, he's like, oh, you were there. Yeah, I had lots of pictures.
You had the armadillo, you had the Frank Zappa.
Yeah, we're like, you were there. And then And then we would go to Prodigal all the time. Dan would be there, we'd be there. We didn't know each other. So like, oh, we actually know all the same people. This is
Wait,
great.
Prodigal is that little kind of neighborhood bar, just kind of like
26
just
and
outside.
First and Whittier.
Yeah.
The
Okay.
greatest place on earth.
I've never been there.
Oh, you got.
I got to
go
check it
tonight?
out.
It's amazing. So, it's early.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Possibly.
It is the greatest bar on the planet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've driven past it a bunch of times. It's teeny tiny.
It's like you're in Ireland. So we're Dan's talking to them, and they said, "Hey, we'd love to have a pub ale," which is what I'm drinking here. We'd love a pub ale. We can't get it. Nobody makes a pub ale here, so we made.
Oh, don't get me started on that because I will rant and
Jeff,
rave.
for 5 years, Jeff was, Dan, when are you going to make me a beer? Dan, when are you going to make me a beer? And then finally I was like, hey, I can make you a beer. And he's like, what can you make me? I was like, pub ale? He goes, pub ale.
Yeah.
So the whole Prodigal crew came in.
Came in.
Oh, that's great.
Together with them. And
so we make that, and then we made a third beer with Morrissey's. We made an Irish pale ale. The I in quotes.
Yeah.
Using Irish grain.
all MCI pale malt.
Yeah.
And then I added El Dorado and it's Fuggles for bittering, and then El Dorado dry hop just to get that nice little kind of a it's an American Irish dive bar, so I wanted to have a little bit of both.
A little both, right?
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So our collabs are actually with customers, not with other breweries, which is kind of a different strategy. And,
That's very unique. But I would imagine probably way more sustainable and good for the business.
So far, so good.
Well, you want to develop
You
a
want
product,
those relationships.
and you want those requirements. Right?
Yeah.
It's not just what Dan and I can think up.
Right.
You know, that's always a danger if you own a restaurant or bar is what we can think up. No, it's like, what are customers actually going to buy?
Yeah.
You know, the customer being to us, the customer is a bar and a liquor store when we're out of the tap room.
Right.
Right. And that's, we're a distribution brewery. We're not just a tap room brewery. And it's worked well. I mean, their requirements were pretty good, and we made great beer, and we sold a ton of it.
Yeah.
And I drink at all those bars, so it's pretty fun.
That's really awesome.
Same here.
I made that.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's a fun thing.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Like I've brewed some home brew. I've brewed 2 beers on a professional thing. Back in the day, I brewed 2 beers up at Lupulin. I named one of their beers. They had like an online thing they have this like alliterative animal series for their triple IPAs, like Dapper Donkey,
Cool.
what is it? The Swanky Sloth. And they were doing a flamingo. So they're like, and I said, flatulent flamingo. And they're like, that's the one. And their artist, Marcus Paulson, who is amazing at what he does and one of the nicest people you could ever hope to meet, drew like this flamingo and this little exhaust thing coming out the rear. It's just turned out really great. So that's but I've never made a beer. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. Rules.
That is cool.
So this is interesting because you were the head brewer at 612 when they closed.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah,
the last one, and then refresh my memory on the timeline from when they closed to when you.
They didn't close. We took over.
Okay.
So the way it is, we bought the quote unquote bought the assets.
Okay.
And the way, not to bore you, but the way licensing works, there's a ton of licenses to make and sell beer.
Sure.
6.
Okay.
So
what are they all?
Well, so the way
liquor license.
Well, you got to manufacture beer, then packaging beer, and then there's an agricultural because we saw grain one day, so there's an agricultural. So I'm being somewhat snarky, but everybody has to come in and charge you thousands of dollars to. They come in to ruin your day and then charge you thousands of dollars, right? That's how licensing works, right?
Yeah.
So the way it worked is you have to have your TTB, which is ATF, your federal license first to make the beer. And until you have that, you can't package and sell it.
Okay.
Right. So then it goes.
And I've heard the TTB is just awesome to work with.
Actually,
they're actually pretty nice.
Actually,
really?
we've had a great
We've
had a great experience with TTB.
Knock on wood. Don't want to jinx that.
Yeah. We agreed to buy the assets. We didn't buy the business. We bought the assets.
Okay. Like all the
tanks, and
equipments, and okay.
Yeah, that's the way it works. You can buy a business, you can buy. We just were interested in the assets. We weren't interested in the name or anything.
Right. Yeah.
And And then the license we had to get was to make the beer.
Okay.
And until you have that license, you can't have a license to sell the beer. So there was a 60-day period that we, quote unquote, ran 612
Sure. Okay.
as we worked through all the bureaucracy. And we were one of the first post-COVID breweries in the country. We came out right after COVID. So we were working with TTB. We were the first one. We were working with the city of Minneapolis. We were the first one to get a new license. So imagine they had to restart everything after all this time. So
sure.
imagine
Okay.
people had quit their jobs, they didn't know the process. Yeah. So it was kind of a challenge. Nobody was hard to work with. It's just like somebody just had not done the job.
Sure.
So we worked through that whole process. And I say it took about 60 days to do that. So we were the quote unquote managers of 612, but really we were Padraigs in the brew house.
Sure.
We were making Padraigs beer over there.
Okay.
Red Chimney was the first, but selling previous beer that they had left. It's kind of weird, but when I
yeah.
like,
okay.
really,
No, it kind of makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense to me because okay. So then you buy the assets and then you've got that window waiting for all the licenses. And then at what point did 612 go away?
September 1. So we said, once we got the city license to sell the beer we had made, that was the go.
Okay.
Because the taproom license is city. We were selling beer in the city of Minneapolis.
Sure.
So that's the one you need to go. And once you get that, then the state says go. We had all the paperwork lined up, and then once we get the city said yes, then the state said yes. It's bureaucracy, but that's the way it works. You can't sell beer in the city of Minneapolis unless you have a city of Minneapolis license. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we have an on sale and an off sale because we sell packaged beer too.
Okay. Now, Dan, how many barrels of beer will you brew in a year?
Well, right now, I just looked at it. We're at 380 since January 1st.
Okay.
So we're cruising. On St. Patty's Day, we sold 96 kegs of red, 24 kegs of stout. We've been ripping. It's been big. So I think this year, last year we did 700 barrels.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're almost halfway there
already.
You got summer yet.
Yeah.
Go.
We have to. Yeah. We tripled the previous owners.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we'll double that again.
Yep.
And we're in distribution, so we have a distributor, which we have a great distributor. And I tell the brewers, like, you talk about your distributor like that. We love our distributor. We love our distributor.
Next to TTB, usually people don't have much nice things to say about their distributors either.
Yeah, no, we're okay. People really take care of us and like us and give us great advice and counsel, which is good. I mean, a lot of people come in like, did you do the right thing buying a brewery at the bottom of the market? I'm like, would you buy a stock at the bottom of the market or a stock at the top of the market? And they're like, makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Again, you have to have a strategy. You have to have a plan. You have to be able to execute on it, right? Not just buy a brewery and hope.
Yeah.
Because we had no we knew we weren't in 2013. We knew someone wasn't going to pay us $1 million just to be cute.
Yeah.
Right. This is going to be hard work. We knew that going in.
Well, and I have to imagine, I mean, I'm going to say it, thinking about, the brand that was here before was, I mean.
It's been an uphill battle, just say that.
Yeah. And so knowing that going in, you have this plan, were people saying you're crazy if you're, because fair or unfair, people are going to think that, this is just the same thing with a different name.
Yeah, exactly.
Correct. Now, the counterpoint to that was if we'd bought one of the more successful breweries in town and changed it, it would have been a little rebellion. Because people would say, I can't believe you changed whatever, right?
Sure.
Not a single person has walked in that door and said, oh my God, you changed from the previous brewery. Not a single person.
That is a great point.
No one's mad about it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's, and then now we do get a lot of people say, where did they go? So it says, all the social media, all the marketing we've done, it's like there's so much noise out in the world, right? Mm-hmm. And the term I use is we punch above our weight on social media. We do a lot of crazy stuff, and we have silly leaprechaus jump around doing lots of fun stuff. This does get people's attention.
But you utilize it so well.
Yeah,
I mean that's a. You'd be surprised how many breweries don't really recognize the power of that,
right?
And keeping on people's radar.
Right, you
have to do it.
But it's surprising, Dan, how much you've never heard of us.
Yeah,
yeah. We live 4 blocks away. I'm like, oh my god, I need to work harder, right?
Yeah.
But nobody's walked in the door and complained. Nobody said, oh, I missed that one beer, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So good and bad.
Sure.
Good and bad. If we bought, the German guys up here or somebody else, people will be protesting out here.
Hey, thank you for listening. Hopefully you're enjoying a One Pint Stand. My aim is to help spread the word about craft beer. Enjoying craft beer is a passion of mine, and I love chatting about it with other people. A One Pint Stand has a goal of helping breweries tell their stories. I love to get out in and beyond Minnesota to visit breweries, beer bars, and meet other interesting beer people. Now, if you're also into those things, you'll probably want to keep tabs on the show. So go ahead and follow a One Pint Stand on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. I also started a TikTok account because I was tired of Charles calling me a boomer for not having one. I would also appreciate any and all positive reviews on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever it is you listen to your podcasts so that other craft beer listeners can find us. If you want to be a supporter of the podcast with some of the extra change you find in your couch cushions, I've got a Patreon. There are 3 different monthly levels of support, and they're priced at $1, $3, or $5 a month. If you pledge at the $3 or $5 monthly level, you get some pretty cool perks. So go to patreon.com and search a One Pint Stand to check it out. We are up to 25 Patreon supporters, and I am just really excited for what that means for the show. If you like reading about craft beer, check out my written work at aonepintstand.com. I love to write, and that's where you're going to find a lot of written content that covers both the local craft beer happenings and my craft beer travels. I truly appreciate you listening and taking time to enjoy our stories. Before we head back to the show, I want to talk about this episode's sponsor, Wandering Leaf Brewing Company. Make sure you plan on visiting the brewery on Saturday, June 14th for the Pride Market from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Dresses with Pockets embodying Chapel Roan will be singing covers from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Lower Town Tattoo is doing a flash pop-up from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And Doom City Slideshow with a back-of-house drag and burlesque show. Doors open at 6, and the show starts at 7 p.m. Tickets are available on the Wandering Leaf Brewing Company website. Make sure you check it out.
How about a beer?
Now I'm drinking the pub ale. Is it just called pub ale, or does it have
It's called the Bitter Brother because it's for Prodigal Pub Ale. So if you know the Prodigal story,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
there's a Bitter Brother in that story. So it's an ordinary bitter, a classic English style.
Oh,
Just it's only 4.6%.
It's what I'm drinking too. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I got stuck on this weekend.
Yeah.
Usually I'm Dan's drinking the Patty's Premium. Usually I'm stuck on the Irish Lager, but this is like, oh
Yeah.
my God, this is killing me.
It's a blend of Maris Otter and MCI Irish malt.
okay.
Yeah.
How would you describe MCI Irish malt to somebody? Like, what is it? Is there a malt that is pretty commonly used here that is similar to it, or how would you?
It's a classic 2-row malt.
Okay.
A pale malt, a classic ale, essentially.
Okay.
Like raw, whatever.
Sure.
Golden Promise from
Oh,
Simpsons.
sure. Yeah.
Right? But it's grown next to the ocean in County Cork, Ireland.
What does that?
We met with Paul McGillicuddy, the president of MCI at CBC in Vegas, and he showed us pictures of where their fields are.
It's
And
just beautiful.
Okay.
next to the ocean.
It's so beautiful.
So the ocean air blows through all their barley fields, and I feel like you can pick that up.
Well, and then I would imagine there's like, with the salt water, there's got to be some sort of mineral thing happening.
It's a fantastic, beautiful malt, and I highly suggest trying to pick it up because
Okay.
I've been more than pleased with the content that I get, or the flavor profiles I get from this malt.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's through.
I get it from BSG. We're still
Okay.
we're still small enough that I can actually just order spot hops or spot malt from BSG.
Okay.
Yep, just like little.
But the
packets.
Irish company is DCI?
MCI, Malting Company of Ireland.
Company of Ireland. Okay.
Yep.
Wanted to get that on there. Yeah, this is really good. I mean, I kind of gave short shrift to the red chimney, but that one is very good as well.
I want to pick up their lager malt soon and put that into the patties because that would be the pinnacle, I think, to get.
Yeah, and patties is good already.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know, how do you improve on that?
Well,
That's the one thing. I have to tell you, face to face, being in this space and drinking really good beer is such a great experience.
Thank you very much.
And I really love what this has turned into.
Thank you very much.
Was like, I've been here. Well, this is my 4th visit, I believe. But yeah, it's nice to be able to, after not being able to recommend a place for various reasons. We don't need to get into that, but finally being like, whoa, yeah, this is. Get back in there. And it's hard. It's hard. I mean, I remember having the conversation back when it was 612 with some people who were really trying to like, hey, we've made some changes. Come on in. They had a great salesperson who was like on Beer People of all places, taking on the keyboard warriors one at a time, saying, hey, we've got this new beer. If you come in, I'd be happy to buy you one. And it was like, talk about, driving that Blazer up the hill in Alaska. Talk about uphill climb.
Yes, sir.
But this is it's just nice to be like, yes, go there, order whatever. Yeah. It's going to be good.
Thank you very much.
That's a nice, that's a nice thing. And just the ambiance. I think with craft beer, having an identity is so important. And sometimes that identity doesn't happen right away. Sometimes it takes years for a place to, this is our wheelhouse. This is where we live. You had the plan, you had the idea, and you saw space for it in the industry, in the market, and I think it's one thing to have like a business plan, but it's another thing to execute the business plan. That has to feel pretty gratifying. What's been the feedback? You said as people have kind of come in, and tried the beers, what are some specific things that you've heard? What beers are people loving? What are some of the positives in the just shy under 2 years that you've been Padraigs?
The key for me is to have people come in, and I love to be behind the bar. I do it, especially I'm here every day, sadly, but I'm quoting.
I feel like there's worse. If you want to switch places for a week, if you want to take my teaching shift next week, I'll come in and do.
As we said earlier, I do have a teaching degree in English.
Yeah, well, hey, that's perfect.
We could switch jobs.
That would be great.
Maybe we should do that. Freaky Friday, right?
That would be wild.
But to be behind the bar, especially on Saturday, I don't go behind the bar and talk to people a lot on the weekdays, right? Because I don't want to get in the beer tender's way.
Sure.
But on the Saturdays afternoons, I love to be here and talk to people and sample. That's one of my favorite things to do. And just to me, the ultimate is to say, people come in like, I'd like something, right? And I'd say, well, why don't you try this? It's similar. And to watch and to give them a sample and watch their face like, oh my God, I've never experienced anything like that. And then to talk about the beer. So you see, Dan and I love to talk about the beer, right?
Yeah.
What went in it? What's the yeast? Why did we choose that yeast? What are the hop or the various hops? How did we make it? And then people are like, wow, that's so interesting. I've never had that. For example, you're having a malty beer. So many people in this country have not had a malty beer. They think there's something wrong with it because it tastes malty. And then you educate them and they're like, wow. Again, personally love hoppy beer, but I also love malty beer. Right. And to educate people is so interesting and to watch their face. You're an educator, to watch their faces and then to see that flavor. And they're like, oh my God, that's so interesting. And they walk out the door, they go home and something happened to them today, right? Something positive happened. And then, again, you try to build a business, you try to be positive, you try to build a strong brand. get it out there, and then have somebody come in and say, so-and-so recommended I come here. Right? I had a couple here this weekend during Art Whirl. Imagine you can't even think in here during Art Whirl, and they grab me. I'm like, hey, we were here 4 weeks ago. We had to come back. I sat down with them and talked to them a long time. It's like they had a great experience.
Yeah.
Right? And that, to me, that's so rewarding to us that we're providing that experience to people, educating them about beer. Because, alcohol's over, gloom and doom about beer. I think gloom and doom was about because we've had too much of the same.
I think you're dead on with that. I don't have any statistical data to back it up, but I think that there are people that crave that experience. If anything, COVID, ruined a bunch of stuff, but it also, I think, made us forget why this is important. How good this feels to just sit around a table,
Absolutely,
and drink some good beers
and talk to people,
and make some connections and have some as human beings, we need this positive energy in our lives. Seemingly, you turn on the TV, you look at the news, we got enough doom and gloom out there, but coming in to have an experience, that's what craft beer is. That's
absolutely.
If that experience wasn't important, then everything would be Coors, Miller,
Bud Light,
and Budweiser.
Right, exactly.
But
I've had good experiences with those beers.
Well, right.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Exactly.
But when you come in and like you said, when you can experience something new from a beer standpoint.
Absolutely.
Somebody was on, I don't even know why I go on Beer People, but I go because I like to see what people are talking about. And somebody was like, they were, somebody was comparing craft breweries to now they're making beer that's just like Budweiser, but calling it craft and charging more. And I'm like, well, if you want to get technical, Budweiser tastes the same in St. Louis,
yep,
as it does in Alaska, as it does in Minnesota. It's consistent.
That's amazing.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. I've tried making the same thing in my kitchen the same way multiple times. It's damn near impossible.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
So as much as people, and sometimes myself included, like to, crap on the evil empire, they do have it down to a science, literally.
And they have really dedicated, hardworking people doing that.
Yeah.
Brewers,
Yeah, we talked about what's in our fridge. I mean, we have major beer in our fridge.
Yep.
I mean,
those are made by brewers.
Don't
forget.
It's not just robots.
Now, it is being run by an evil corporation.
But that's a separate, that's a separate thing.
That's a
but
different
what you can't get, nothing mass manufactured will give you the same experience of being able to come in and talk to a brewer or talk to an owner. I mean, and have them also have the time to have a conversation and try beers and learn about that a malty beer is more than just a stout. Because there's malt takes many forms,
yes, it does,
flavors and aromas, which is great. But that's what craft beer is, that experience of just coming in and, we can nerd out about this beer and just talk about this beer, or we're in a perfect environment to talk about whatever. Talk about Alaska, talk about London. And there's something very special and important that craft breweries deliver on providing those experiences. What are some of the beers that you've brewed that people have just really gone gaga for?
I mean, the red is going nuts right now in the market.
It exceeds everybody's expectations.
Yeah,
on the red, because if you look at the type of beers that brewed, red's the lowest amount brewed in the U.S. It's our number.
Very rare to find one.
It's our number one beer.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean,
now, do you think that is because Padraigs definitely has a Irish feel and it's an Irish brewery, or do you think it's because that is a very good style that is woefully underrepresented?
The latter.
The latter, yeah, I would 100% agree.
I drank Killian's a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
I love Killian. You can't even get it anymore. You can't find it.
Smittix too.
Smittix is amazing.
I love Smittix.
Amazing.
So,
Yeah.
Again, you can't get that. That's even hard to get consistently.
yeah.
So part of it is I think there's a demand. Part of it is we're delivering on the expectation. You try our red, it's like, this is a real Irish red. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So we're delivering on that expectation. And it's something different.
It's got that depth of flavor
Yeah.
that I think that, Killian's had,
They lost it.
but I can't pinpoint when it changed, but it changed.
Well, for me, Newcastle.
Yeah.
I'm nuts about Newcastle. I used to own a bar. Every night I'd drink a Newcastle. Now you taste it, it's like,
It's watery.
it's terrible.
There's
Nothing's the same.
no body to it
And
whatsoever.
You
I
Google
was
it.
on Reddit last week and they said Newcastle's back, baby.
Well,
this
interesting.
guy had the newest batch and he's like, this is it. And he was from, I think it was from some little town in England somewhere.
I would love that
Yeah.
because
maybe Newcastle. I don't remember.
You taste it now, and it's like so. So part of us delivering. When I have a beer, I want it to deliver on my expectations. Our red delivers
yeah.
on people's expectations, which they like. We thought we'd never have a red again, right? A good red. So that's why. And then the one Dan's drinking, the Patties.
Yeah.
That Irish American lager.
Yeah, baby.
It's got that interesting mouthfeel with our ingredients in there that you can't. People have it like, oh my god. Right.
I had it for the first time at the Winter Dabbler, and it was delicious.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you
was
very
like,
much.
oh man,
Yeah, dude.
this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer Crusher.
Oh yeah, but it does have that because it's not just an average lager. Is that simply just why does that beer taste better than the average lager from just
Love.
brewery? Oh, there we go.
Goes love.
It turns out those 6 barrels have been spooned by Dan, so that's fantastic.
That's why he's so tired all the time.
Like, would you like a bedtime
No,
story?
it's a 2-row malt with a Weirmann Munich 1, and then there's only 2 pounds for a 15 barrel batch. There's only 2 pounds of hops in it. German Amarillo and Cascade.
Interesting.
That's it.
When you say Weirmann, anything after that, I mean that's why.
Yeah. Well, it's only 55 pounds of it too. It's not like it's like the smallest percentage in the batch.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Red Chimney, the Patties.
Yep.
I know the stout Dullahan's Dark.
Doulahan.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That one, is that a year round?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is now.
Okay.
It was kind of with the market and everything. Like people typically only drink stouts when it's cold. So once it gets sunny and nice outside, stouts die. You'll sit on a batch for 8 months. And
We thought.
And then now we just had Art Whirl and we sold like the majority of our sales was a stout.
Which is crazy.
I mean, that's probably, I guess, one good thing about the weather.
In a way, it's like
Yeah.
People surprise you. I think it's just how we've established ourselves as an Irish brewery. People come in, they want Irish beer. I want a red ale, I want a stout. That's their first thought. They don't even look at the rest of the menu. They just their eyes go right to nitro stout. Take that.
Last year, part of it's being on nitro. Yeah. Last year, they would come in, Art Whirl. We were brand new. I would say half the people didn't even know who we were. And they'd say, do you have a sour? Do you have an IPA? That was the first 2 questions. So this year, Art Whirl, on a Friday and Saturday, I'm hanging out here. People come in, oh, I'll do a nitro stout. Huge in a year.
Yeah.
And, when it was 90 earlier in the week, we had a day that stout was our number 1 beer, and it wasn't a slow day. Our nitro stout was our number 1 beer on a 90-degree day. And we're looking at each other like, this is crazy.
I mean, I'm one of those people, and I got the looks. What the hell's wrong with you? I was on a pontoon, a bunch of teacher friends. At the end of the year, we always go up to one guy's cabin and blow off some steam. And I always bring dark beers because I'm like dark beers are all year for me.
Yeah, beer nerds are beer nerds.
And I was they're like, "What are you drinking? What is that? A Scotch ale?" I'm like, "Yeah." Would you like one? No. Good.
But again,
More for me.
we're not brewing a Russian stout. We're brewing an Irish stout. It's very
Right.
light beer.
Yeah.
Once you taste it, like, oh, this
Which is a big misnomer. I think,
Correct.
getting back to education, talking about like, people see dark, they automatically assume it's going to, drink like a Pennzoil. But, what is Guinness? 4.1%?
Yeah, 4.2.
4.2% alcohol?
Yep.
That's a.
Ours is 5, so it's a
And
little bit more boozy, but
But it's not heavy either. It's not a
it's not.
heavy
It's
beer.
super light, the same
You
way
can
Guinness
close
is light. Yeah.
Close your eyes, you think it's a light beer. I mean, it is a light beer.
Yeah.
But as long as you're not looking at it, right? And then
Right.
people
Yeah.
have it and they're like, oh, I'll have another one. Because it actually has a body, it's got flavor, it's not just water.
Yeah.
Some of the light beers are just, especially the majors, is this really beer or is this just water, right?
This pub ale is really, really good.
Thank you very much. Prodigal goes through a keg a week, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
What have been some of the unexpected joys since you've opened? And, Dan, I have to imagine that, the transition from 612 to Padraigs, do you feel like you kind of have, I don't know how to say it. Do you feel like you kind of like got like a new lease on brewing?
Well, yeah.
What-
So
because I mean,
I left Surly to work for 612. And it's really funny because when I worked there, Josh Lemke, if you've ever met him, he's the head brewer or lead brewer at Brooklyn Center. That's where I worked
okay.
in R&D at Surly. And he said, do not work here for 9 months and quit and become a head brewer somewhere. And I did exactly that. And I think he's still pretty mad at me about that. But I got the opportunity and like, I wanted to make my own beer. I felt like I had cut my teeth enough in this industry. I'd worked for almost 10 years as a shift brewer, and I got the opportunity to work at 612. I knew the risk I was taking when I took on this role. I knew that it was the most hated brewery in Minnesota.
Yeah.
No offense.
Well,
Not to you, to a few of the people that may listen to this. But I knew I saw the opportunity to that. I'd probably get to do whatever I wanted because there was nothing else they could do. So when I got hired, I hired my brother-in-law to be my assistant brewer. He had no experience. And for the most part, for about a year, we would brew one beer a month and then sit around and watch old horror movies and, and eat Haggis pizza.
it's a good gig if you
And
get it.
then when Pat took over and he was like, I want to make Irish beer, I was like, holy crap. Tony and I have been talking about this would be the best Irish bar ever. If we had the ability to make Irish beer here, we could do it and it would be awesome. So it was like this weird luck of the Irish, like serendipitous moment where everything came together. And now I get to make the beer I've always wanted to make.
Yeah.
And it's actually working out in a really cool way. So
And some days he brews 3 days, sometimes brews 3 days a week. So
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to be like
Yeah.
all good problems to have, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm more than excited to continue doing this and making the styles that I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they certainly are good. So you've got and you have 12 taps. What are some of the other things that you fill out your tap list with? You've got the porter. You said you have an Irish pale.
Yep. You have the Tri-Skull Pale Ale with Morrissey's. Yep.
Okay.
Tap. Yep.
What are some of the other ones that people can look forward to trying if they haven't been in before?
We always have a seltzer for people who are gluten-free or people who don't necessarily enjoy beer that much but want to come out and hang out with people who do enjoy beer. So we have our seltzer. We just did that one. That's grapefruit blood orange this year. Just for the summer, I think it's going to be a good patio crusher.
Sure.
Super refreshing and light. Our Causeway IPA is an English IPA. It's extremely malt forward with a nice floral bitterness in the back end that I really enjoy. We actually had a few of them today in the rain.
It was raining.
Had the
and-
garage door open and just sat and listened to the Dubliners and drank a couple of Causeway IPAs.
We looked at it and I looked at each other, looked out in the rain, like, yeah, I feel
It's
like
an
we're in
IPA
London.
day. Yep. It felt great. Then let's see what else we have. We have
Foggy.
Foggy. Oh yeah, Foggy Dew. Foggy Dew is something. So we don't distribute Foggy Dew, but everyone wants a New England every now and then. customers come in expecting everyone to have a hazy beer of some kind.
Yep.
So I started a program. It's our Foggy Dew program. It's named after the Easter Rising, which is a picture above your head there, when the British attacked Dublin for the Irish refusing to fight in World War One. So we named it Foggy Dew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song. Look it up.
Listen to the Sinead version; it'll make you cry.
Sinead version, or the Derry Farrell version, or the Dubliners version, or there's a lot of versions that are really, really pretty and beautiful.
Yeah.
But this program, every different batch, I keep the same malt bill, but I change the hops every single time.
Okay.
This newest batch is Nectaron. I dip hop every batch as well. I do not add any hops to the boil.
Explain dip hopping.
So what I do, and I did my research for like a month and a half of how to do this appropriately to see how it worked, because I've worked at enough breweries that were doing hazies and they just didn't come out right, or like we get one good batch and then we do it again and it was like kind of gross, or it'd be too bitter, too like more West Coasty and not tropically enough. And so I just opened the books and opened Google, and I just started sitting on forums and seeing what I could find.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed dip hopping was the best way to get the thiol extraction you want, get those tropical fruit flavors from your hops. So what I do is I add, for a 15-barrel batch, I add 22 pounds of hops into my fermenter. I knock out 175-degree wort into that fermenter, so it's still anesthetizing it, right? It's still above 165. It's killing all the germs. I let that kind of steep for 2 hours while I finish the rest of my boil. And then I knock out again, and I just let it ferment on that. I add yeast and all that stuff, and I let it go all the way to terminal gravity. And then I dry hop on terminal gravity, and then I get just this super tropical fruit bomb every single time. It maintains its haze for up to 3 to 4 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, if you do it right, that beer's not sticking around that long.
Yeah.
People are going. And Nectaron, that seems like, is that kind of a new, it's newish, but.
Well, so I love, the whole idea of the UK, right? Love it or hate it, the British did kind of, colonize most of the known world.
Yeah.
And so I'm picking every time I do it, I pick a different colony that they went to. So this batch was New Zealand, so it was Nectaron.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And then I think next time we might do Australia. We might, yeah.
Yeah, we tried to have crazy. Last time we had Zappa hops in it for Frank Zappa's family.
Yep. Zappa, it was Zappa and Cashmere.
That was crazy.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
A little classic rock.
Yeah, so we have fun. So that's one of our craft beers we have a lot of fun with. It's a huge seller in the tap room, and we have fans come in for that because we say we classify it as 0 IBU.
Yeah.
When you have it, you think you're drinking like a champagne
juice.
Yeah,
it tastes like pineapple juice and oranges.
Yeah, we'll give you some before you leave. You take some test of it.
That'd be good to try. Yeah. The whole hazy IPA movement is very interesting. I think that when it's done well, it's a very great way to showcase hops, a great gateway beer to try to, there's always somebody who says, well, I don't like hoppy. Well, are you sure about that?
So my dad was one of those guys.
Yeah.
And I was like, got more of that Foggy Dew. Hey, can you bring me some crowlers to that Foggy Dew?
Yeah, that's right.
I really want some.
You can't get enough.
Hey, I gave it to your uncle. He really wants some Foggy Dew too. It's like, okay, cool. All right.
But it's for somebody who wants to kind of understand that hops are more than just something bitter.
Yeah.
Like the New
How
England,
incredible is that? It's so cool. It's like a weed, but it tastes like pineapples if you put it in the right.
But on the whole, I'm an English major, so science is not. But when I've talked to brewers, I'm like, okay, dumb it down, like I'm a 5-year-old.
I'm pretty dumb too, though.
Explain to me how you extract a fruit flavor that isn't there.
Yeah.
And it's like the chemistry, alchemy, whatever branch of science it is, but it's fascinating. And when it's done well, it's great.
Yeah.
My problem is I'm 46 and I can't drink like, I want to. you know.
You still can.
So like, well, right, exactly. But like, you know, this is perfect because like a pub ale, I can drink those till the cows come home. But just like a 7.6%, 755 at Black Stack. I can do a couple of those, but after that, I just like gotta,
you eat some food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But so yeah, I'll have to try that. That's interesting. Now, getting back to the whole craft beer experience, I know that other than chit chat with friends at tables and sitting around the bar, Padraigs has a lot going on. Do you want to talk about some of the music and kind of when you know, if somebody's like, you know, I haven't been there and I really love live music. How often can somebody come into the tap room and be entertained by musicians here?
Currently, we're doing every Friday, every Saturday. Plus, there's other times during the week that we do a once a month tango, which is live tango music and dancing. We're doing every other week what we call trad sessions, so traditional Irish music, which people come in, they bring their Irish instruments, and they kind of just riff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and we're working.
Yeah, they sit right here.
They sit actually in this area.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is kind of cool. And then we're working on another kind of we call it old-timey music, so people coming in. So really trying to get people, so it's not just, so there's some that are performances and some that you can participate in. Because traditional Irish is about music, you know, an Irish pub in Ireland is where you go the reason they have Irish goodbye, you go there every day, and I don't say goodbye because I'm going to see you tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So trying to create kind of a sense of community, and that was what we were talking about before, the sense of community here. So we do trivia. We have the same people come, you know, it's Trivia Mafia. Everybody's doing the trivia, but we have a family that, you know, kind of a family around that. And we're building more and more of these regular events. So this is, you know, this is their family room. Post-COVID, you know, we all had a little like, hey, I need to get out of the house, right? I need to go do something. And so we're trying to create kind of a repertoire of events. We have a great outdoors. We keep trying to get out there. I'm looking out in the rain right now, right? A great outdoors. We'll do a little bit more with that this summer. We're trying to make it a little bigger in terms of more seating, et cetera, et cetera. We're all great live music fans, right? And again, a lot of breweries that are doing a lot of music, which is great because we have a great live music scene in this town.
Yeah.
And we're participating in that. And then we do a lot of Irish bands, you know, both, you know, the traditional Irish and then more modern Irish bands. So music, trivia, you know, initials game, that's kind of the standard stuff. And then some other things like tango, which is kind of interesting. Have people come in and dance. Tango dancing to a live tango band. It's kind of cool, right? So we're trying to, and then the trad sessions. So again, a little more, you know, we're not trying to be an Irish bar, but really around this culture of, you know, and then this room we're in the private room right now, just crazy events going on here. Like, you know, we have a normal, like a dating thing. So in terms of dating, the young people don't like the apps. They want to actually meet real people and talk to real people, which is kind of funny. Like, yeah, that's how we did it.
Everything's cyclical.
Yeah, so people are coming in, and there's you know, we're kind of at the edge of North Loop and Northeast, so there's a lot of professionals move here.
Oh, sure.
How do you meet people?
Well, and you know, all I've heard from people is like Minnesota is so difficult because people are so guarded, and you know, if you didn't grow up here, I mean, yeah, it's
different.
The Minnesota cold shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a bad Minnesotan because I'll just talk to anybody.
I'm not from here. I'm from California. I just can't shut up. So and we do dog adoptions. There's a whole bunch of wedding stuff. You know, wedding stuff from baby showers to rehearsal dinners to groom's dinners. So just this room is always busy. Yeah. And we do a whole bunch of meet and greets. So businesses are doing stuff because we have a parking lot. You know, and we're generally in a good parking area up here in the Northeast. We have a whole bunch of companies say, can we just do a company meet and greet there? You know, because it's easy to get to, easy to get in, easy to get out. You know, one of the reasons we picked this, you know, we're 94 and 35 are the closest is on Broadway. They get the closest.
Sure. Yep.
So you come off 94, come off 35, easy to get to. People are like, oh, we're close to the U. You know, so kind of a location-wise, get in and out. And then the other really big thing we're doing right now is, Jason and I, the other owner, we both went to NDSU.
Okay.
You can see the buffalo, right?
Yeah.
The bison, I should say, and the flag. So we both went there, and it ends up that NDSU football didn't have a real big watch party site. They had a couple small watch party sites up here.
Okay.
More NDSU grads live in Minneapolis than any other place in the world. Because you can't get, I went to NDSU. You can't get a job at Fargo. There's like 4 jobs, right?
Sure, right.
So
yeah.
we all move here, right?
Okay.
So again, that's become a huge thing, is watch parties. And then a group called True Elite North is Loons watch parties when they're away games.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So in the other room, this room we have a couple TVs. The other room we have a lot of TVs.
Yeah.
And when we came, we put TVs in, and we got hate mail saying, "You're ruining the brewery aesthetic of the Northeast." No,
A guy chewed me out one time. I was like, I just make beer, man.
yeah. So
I'm not in charge of the TV.
So now
relax.
Now I challenge anybody to go to any other brewery, and they all have as many TVs as we do.
Yeah.
Because this little Timberwolves thing has really got people interested in watching TV. And geez, I'm going to go to a brewery, going to watch TV. Yeah.
I get that because it's like, and I'm like, yeah, sometimes I just want to go and talk. And I'm the type of person where if a game is on, I'm going to constantly be like checking the score. Yeah. And so like sometimes I'm like, if I want to be present in conversation, I will like, all right, I don't want to go to a place where I'm going to be distracted. So that's where I like some of the craft breweries like Arbiter. Perfect.
Yep.
They don't have TVs. I can be present, and the beers are fantastic. But then it's like, I also don't have cable. So I'm like, how do I watch the Wolves? I'm like, I'm not a bar person. I live over in Como Park Gabe's is very close to my house. Okay. So I went there to watch one of the Wolves Lakers games. And I was just like, God, this is fucking horrible. There was I'm like, this is awful. I hate this. I don't want this. And so I'm like, but yeah, I was like, God, okay, what craft breweries have TVs? And I was like, there's not many. So I feel like there needs to be some.
More and more. Falling knife.
Well, yeah, falling knife, but like watching a Wolf game there, you got to mentally prepare for a.
Yeah,
I just want to roll in and roll out. I don't want an experience. I just want a bar stool and a thing. Yeah, but
so between all that put together, we're pretty much creating an identity, a community, a number of communities that come together.
We play Premier League games here too. So if anyone likes to watch UK soccer or Champions League games, we also play those here as well. So
that's good to know. I know
any kind of soccer fans who wants to come and watch the European sports, come on through. We got them.
Again, I said it earlier. It's nice for this to be on one of the options.
Yeah, dude.
Especially, and I don't know if I would Dangerous Man. I would go there.
Oh, man.
I miss that place so much.
We all do.
But like, now Broken Clock has their, they were in Northeast before, but it was an odd location.
We still consider them Northeast.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So now, now there, you got 56, you got Broken Clock, you got you guys, you got Insight. I still miss Dangerous Man. Yeah. I don't feel like there's as big of a void now as I did when I was like mentally preparing for them to close their tap room. I think this is great. I think
Thank you.
What you have going here is really cool. The beers are fantastic and the vibe is great. Where are we going forward? So you said you're kind of on pace to brew way more than you did last year.
We're hoping for 1,400 this year.
Okay. Yeah. And distro.
We're hoping to expand.
People can find you in liquor stores. What brands can people find in liquor stores in packaged products?
We can for today. We're in Twin Cities, Mankato, Rochester today.
Okay.
Distro. And you can find Honey Blonde, which we haven't talked about yet. It's kind of a standard, nice. It's a beer made to eat with food.
Okay.
Not just a drinking beer. It's a great beer with like hot food or fried food.
Okay.
Our Honey Blonde.
I put 60 pounds of honey into it every time too.
Yeah, it's phenomenal beer with food. Yeah. The Red Chimney, the Porter, and then Patty's Premium are the four we can today.
Yeah.
And your labels are very eye catching. They kind of jump off the shelves. So I think it's like a very aesthetically pleasing labels, which I think
worked
is cool.
really hard on that. Yeah.
Yeah. Part of it's create a brand. So when you see our name, even though nobody knows how to say it, you know it's Irish.
Right, yes.
You know it's Irish, right?
Right.
Should I tell you that story on the name?
Yes, absolutely.
It's a funny story. So we were going to do Irish, and I had picked 6 kind of Irish names, and we're like, okay, go on GoDaddy. Is there URL available? The URL for Padraigs and Padraigs Brewing were available. $9.99.
Oh, sweet.
Sold. And none of the other names we picked were available.
Okay.
So people are like, did you pick
Are you
it
at
in?
liberty to say what some of the other
I don't even
options
remember.
are?
I don't
Okay.
even remember. You make stuff Irish stuff up. You look at it. Okay, that sounds good. I mean, I don't.
Patio furniture.
Yo.
So that's how we came up with the name. It was $9.99 and available.
Oh, there you go.
People were like, it wasn't a really big decision. We're like, okay, because we were neutral. People said, did you pick it because your name? Actually, not really.
Well, worked out.
It worked out.
Yeah.
For
The luck of the Irish.
For
situation.
$10. Yeah. And nobody can say it is actually kind of funny. If people come in like, the first thing they come in like, how do you say that? And then you're in a conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
So, just over being open for a year and a half, what are each of you the most proud of about Padraigs Brewing?
I would say the team.
Mm.
I came here from it was a different company, it was corporate, came here, really didn't know people, not from the industry. And we've got a pretty amazing team and we're executing very well. We're actually, if you look at the plan I wrote in 2019, we're actually on plan, which is actually frightening. We're growing. People are liking what we're doing. We're learning a lot. So, but mostly I'm proud of the team, the people that make, I always tell people, if you want to know what we're doing, look at our Instagram, you'll see no beer porn. Every picture you'll see people. We're in the people business. We're not in the beer business. Right. So I always challenge people, look at our Instagram, people like, we're about people.
Yeah. And splitting the P.
That's
Splitting the P.
Talk to me. And I'm not talking about soup. Okay? I'm not talking about some sort of weird thing you find on OnlyFans. Splitting the P. Talk to me about that. That seems to be
3 big swallows, and you'll split the P every time.
That's what she said.
3 big swallows, you'll split the P every time. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's good. And you use the Imperial
Yep,
pint
yep,
glass.
when you have your Imperial,
Okay.
your 20-ounce
All right.
pint, and it's full of either the red or the stout, you just take 3 healthy chugs,
Okay.
and you should split it every time. I can split it almost every time.
Okay.
Maybe a little under, a little over, but it's
Yeah.
right there.
That's kind of the sweet
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 big
Interesting.
mouthfuls.
Well, Dan and Pat, this has been really fun. I'm really grateful that you both were willing to take the time to chat and tell myself and my listeners about Padraigs. So, if you're listening and you haven't been here yet, I strongly suggest coming in, bring some friends. If you want to make a nice weekend evening of it, come see some live music on a Friday or Saturday, or just go on their social media and you'll see a variety of different activities. And while those activities will all be different, the one consistent thing will be good beer and great ambiance. So thank you both for having me.
Hey, thank you, Dan.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you, Dan.
Yeah.
Appreciate
This
it.
has been another on-location episode of a One Pint Stand here at Padraigs Brewing. Cheers, guys. I had a great time chatting with Dan and Pat at Padraigs, sitting in their cozy event space while we sipped Irish red ales and pub ales as the driving rains of a Minnesota-made downpour kept us from wanting to leave was just perfect. I would say that Padraigs is way better than 612, but that would be severely underselling them. Pat was right. His passion for quality craft beer experience is evident in every single sip. I'm thrilled that Padraigs is providing something different, and I'm going to admit, I was skeptical when I first heard about the concept. But after seeing it in action after several visits and hearing from Dan and Pat about what they put into everything, I'm happy to reverse course and say that without a doubt, Padraigs is definitely worth your time if you haven't been. Now, I want to give a special shout out to Marcus Dodson, Chuck Dorsey, Vicky Epper, Daniel Fisher, Todd Fitzloff, Laura Fleischfresser, Matt Holton, Cable Lefto, Ben Michaels, Sophia Masagi, Brent Newman, Bree Smith, Jesse Storms, Sarah Cry-Valento, and Brian Wu for being keg stander level supporters of a One Pint Stands Patreon. You've all shown incredible generosity, and I'm so grateful for it. Cheers to you all. Now, before we go, I want to give a thank you to our sponsor for this episode, Wandering Leaf Brewing. Their staff have created a special atmosphere where everyone's welcome. They provide fantastic beers in a laid-back setting. Wandering Leaf is a great community gathering spot in St. Paul. So get over there and check them out. And tell them you heard about them on a One Pint Stand. This brings us to the end of another episode of a One Pint Stand, a Minnesota craft beer podcast where the pants stay on, but the caps come off. Cheers. Okay, real quickly for people, I've heard of hurling as a sport. I mean, you want to see the hurling team, just go down frat row at the U of M at about 2:30 in the morning and just look up. But hey,
Somewhere appropriate.